scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
That's how I'm opening the podcast.
That's good.
Just a screech.
Just screaming.
Yeah, which I mean, like, I feel like is pretty on brand, for our show.
Our third screamer.
Beautiful. I love the screaming goat.
It's a beautiful staple of
Truly.
what we've created here.
Truly. This is Remarks.
Remarks.
Yeah.
The podcast.
Yeah, the podcast.
Yeah. Le podcast.
Le podcast. Le Croix
Mm-hmm.
is also French.
Mm-hmm. True.
At least the name is. I don't know if the actual drink is, but
it's probably a Coke product or something.
I mean, most things are.
Yeah. Even if it's not, it is.
Yeah, even if it's not, it's like, yeah. Isn't there like some like Midwestern states where they like refer to every soda as like Coke?
As Coke.
Which is just weird to me because
yeah, it's weird to me too.
Like, I can accept like soda and like pop and stuff. Like, I don't care what you say, but like if you're gonna be calling the Sprite Coke, like I'm gonna.
Can I get a clear Coke?
Exactly. I'm like, we're gonna have some issues.
I honestly have a little bit of issues with pop as well.
Do you?
It just doesn't sit right with me.
I understand. I respect it.
I mean, all power to you, but I don't know. I guess I've just only known it as soda.
If you say pop around Phoebe, she will.
I'll pop ya.
She'll pop. Yeah. The violence. Yeah.
And maybe it's just because I live in Utah and there's like, this is like soda country. But
true. Yeah.
I don't know.
Soda country. Yeah, I wonder if they have like soda shops in other places. I've never seen one.
I don't feel like it's a
but I don't
thing.
think that they would. Yeah. Yeah. If you're listening from anywhere that's not Utah, do they have like delicacy, like gourmet soda shops where you're at? Like, because we have like one called Swig, one called Fizz,
Sodalicious,
one called Sodalicious.
Straws.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like how there's a Starbucks on every corner, like everywhere else. Ours is like we have a soda shop on every corner, and it's like flavored sodas. I don't know even how to explain it.
It's like soda, and sometimes they put cream in it, and they put like flavoring, like what you would put in a coffee, but they put it in a soda because that's okay, and coffee's not. But,
and they have like cookies and shit to go along with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's a story for another day.
True. The Utah's dessert explosion discourse.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Anyway, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, we're back. We are doing part 2 of our Why You Should Hate insert president here. Why you should hate Bill Clinton and Ronald Reagan specifically. So yeah, I'm here to tell you part 2 of more reasons why you should hate Ronald Reagan.
There's lots.
There's so many. So as we all know, in 1985, the CIA introduced crack into black neighborhoods in the Northeast. We all know this. We all know it's true. 100% factual.
There's no way it's not. Like.
Yeah. This is indisputable. It's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it really it is real.
Yeah, it's real. Allegedly, it's 100% real.
Exactly. So because of this, the quote-unquote crack epidemic was sparked. Cocaine-related hospitalizations rose by 12%. Crime in these black neighborhoods increased, as did incarcerations of those in possession of crack, which there's a reason for that, and we'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah.
The impact of the introduction of crack to these already underfunded neighborhoods has been devastating and can be seen to this day. As most of us also know, the response to crack users versus cocaine users by authorities was extremely disproportionate. Around this time, people in possession of 5 grams of crack had to serve a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years in federal prison, where this same sentence was only applied to cocaine if the carrier had 500 grams.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Despite the fact that cocaine and crack are essentially the same drug.
The same exact thing, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Love that.
Add a little baking soda, and all of a sudden you're straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Yeah, and then it's like it's the same statistic as like white people and black people do the same amount of drugs, but like police just enforce it a lot heavier in black communities. So
exactly.
Yeah.
The media really had like a heyday during this time, using the term crack epidemic before it even really was an epidemic. Posting headlines like cocaine, a vicious assault on a child, crack's toll among babies, a joyless view, and studies, future bleak for crack babies. Despite the fact that crack has about the same effect on fetuses that nicotine does. And we all know that pregnant women in the 80s were smoking like fucking chimneys. So.
Yeah, there's no way. Like, my friend has a car from 1983, and it has ashtrays in the back of the car because the kids smoked too back then. It's great.
Oh my God. Yeah, which it's just, I mean, it goes back to everything you were saying. It's like the things that are like so not criminalized for white people, like literally fucking smoking while you're pregnant. But then, yeah, crack literally has basically the same effect on babies. Some researchers believe that the crack epidemic was actually mostly fabricated and that it wasn't actually a major problem until news media accelerated crack's popularity by like the way that they talked about it. But this is not the crack episode. So where does Ronald Reagan come into this story?
We should have a crack episode.
Oh, we definitely should have a crack episode.
By that I mean we do crack and then we
and record
the episode.
Which actually, talking about Ronald Reagan reminds me of like this joke Taylor and I have where we talk about like whenever we get like really intense about talking about political things, we're always like Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
So now it's happening.
It's
Ronald
absolutely
Reagan.
happening. We're talking about Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, and I feel like the crack, if we did do crack and record an episode, it would just be us being like Ronald Reagan.
Fucking Ronald Reagan.
Oh my God.
Goddamn ass rock.
This
like
damn ass rock. Exactly.
There you go.
That's so funny.
Oh, I'm dying.
That killed Taylor.
Yeah, no, that joke, actually killed me, yeah.
So Reggie Boy was unfortunately reelected in 1985 for his second term as president, right when the alleged crack epidemic was really taking off. The war on drugs, quote unquote, again, had begun under the Nixon administration, where the Controlled Substances Act was put into place. And this is the bill that created the 5 schedules of drugs, Schedule 1 being the biggest threat and the most criminalized, such as marijuana, LSD, MDMA, and heroin. Which totally makes sense because we all know how people who smoke weed and people who use heroin for sure face like the same exact issues.
Yeah, that's for sure. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I've never met somebody who partakes in the devil's lettuce who hasn't, ruined their life, like murdered their family, kicked an old lady,
right?
Probably. I mean, yeah. Like, so I mean, like when you smoke weed, like that's just what you
become
to expect.
Complete asshole.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In October of 1986, Reagan signed the Anti-Drug Abuse Act, which allocated $1.7 billion to fund the war on drugs, whatever that really means.
Truly.
Like this made-up war on drugs.
Yeah.
This act also created mandatory minimum sentences for drug possession and drug use, which led to mass incarceration of Black and brown Americans due to the fact that police are racist, and because of the market around crack that had formed in lower-income neighborhoods, because duh. The 100-to-1 sentencing was implicated, which is what I was talking about earlier. That means that the same sentence would be awarded for having 1 gram of crack versus 100 grams of cocaine.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it literally doesn't. It's like, the same fucking thing.
Yeah, we've talked about this so many times, but like, again, like the war on drugs, it was just like, oh, blank check to literally militarize the police force. Sign us up, right? Like,
exactly.
It's for your well-being. We're fighting drugs. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, no, you just want to give cops more guns. Like,
yeah, straight up.
Fucking stupid.
Exactly. This act also made it much easier for law enforcement to seize property of folks that they suspected of drug possession. And, get this, if the drugs that they assumed were present were actually not, law enforcement was able to seize property that would equate in value to the alleged drugs that they believe should have been present.
What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. 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 So yeah, if they like broke into some like, you know, a drug dealer, or so they say, into their house, and they're like, you've been dealing drugs, how dare you? But then like they've flushed all the drugs or whatever, again, allegedly, then they can be like, cool, we're gonna take this like laptop, TV, all this shit for how much we assume would have been, and it's like, it's insane.
I can't. That's just like that. It feels like it should be illegal. Like I can't understand how people were like, yeah, that's a really good idea.
That makes sense. I know. I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like that's how I feel about like most things in this country. It's like, that feels like it should be illegal.
That feels like it's, I mean, yeah.
It shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, I just feel, and I don't know, maybe it's just because more people, like, the average person trusts cops more than we do. But like, I just feel like anytime you give cops like some kind of vague rule that they can do something, like they're always gonna fuck people over with it. Of course. They're never not gonna. Like, it's insane.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're telling me I can like take fucking stuff, and then you know they're like pocketing some shit too. It's like,
absolutely.
Of course they're gonna do it.
Why would
they're gonna show up at anybody's house and be like, hey, we think there's drugs in here. There's not. Let me fucking repo your couch.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's clean this place out, because I'm pretty sure you would have had, you know, I don't know, $100 million worth of drugs. So
exactly.
And that's just my estimate. So like, yeah, we're pretty much just taking your house now. So get out of here, bud.
Hand over the deed.
We're
gonna take this car in your driveway as well.
Yeah. Like, how did it? Again, it boggles my fucking mind. Anyway.
I know. So because of this, like, property seizure act that was passed, expansion and search and seizure because that happened on the federal level, most state governments followed suit, making like the stop and frisk and frequent pullover searches that we see now, like happening all the time.
Yeah.
Ronny Regs also beefed up the legislation that Nixon had put into place during the birth of the war on drugs. In current times, we are still seeing the effects of the Reagan-era war on drugs, mass incarcerations over marijuana, disproportionate sentencing of Black and brown Americans, the horrible, horrible drug education programs in schools, which I will get to in a minute.
I'm so excited.
More of that. The criminalization of addicts, sensationalized stories of drug users and drugs being given to children secretly, like the story about drugs being hidden in children's Halloween candy, which has never been true.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love those fucking stories, because it's like, who would do that? Like, I'm not gonna put cocaine in some kid's fucking Snickers bar.
Do you know
like,
how much money that fucking
that's
costs?
so much money.
Yeah,
like, oh
it's
my
insane.
God.
It's like, nobody's giving drugs away for free. Let's get that real straight, real quick.
There's not, no one's.
No.
Yeah, like, I was at the only thing I can think that would maybe come close to that is I've been at some parties where people have put like acid in like the jungle juice or whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, like, no one's putting fucking drugs in your kids' candy. Like,
no.
Maybe check for razor blades, but like,
yeah.
But even then,
even that is not a real thing either.
Yeah, no,
it happened once.
Oh.
I listened to a podcast about it. So listen to podcasts, y'all. It makes you smart.
It does.
I listened to a podcast about it, and literally the only time that actually happened was this guy put it in his own fucking kid's candy.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So
and then everybody was like, watch your candy.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Yeah, stupid. And
like,
gay.
And also, we need to get off this, but
no,
like,
it's okay.
people will be like, oh, it's like MDMA. People are always acting like people are putting MDMA in like kids' candy and like hard candies, like the pressed pills and shit. And I'm like, believe me, of all the drugs, especially, nobody's fucking giving away free Molly.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not. So,
and also, it's like, of all the drugs, if someone was to do that, like, Molly's like probably the chillest. Like,
yeah, your kid
would just be juiced for like 4 hours.
Oh, God. Another lasting aspect of the war on drugs was the throat goat herself, Nancy Reagan.
Hey.
Nancy!
Dripped out politicians.
Her Just Say No campaign. This campaign was the Glizzy Gobbler's very tone-deaf response.
I can't.
It's so good.
It's so funny.
That was like the best week on the internet.
Everybody's just
when it
like,
came out
oh
that
shit.
Nancy Reagan just was fucking like the goat.
Nancy
at
Reagan was
blowjobs.
deep throating fucking mad dick. Like it's crazy.
Fucking good for her.
Good for her. Fuck her, but like you know.
Yeah, but not for that reason.
Not for that. Oh, definitely not for that reason. Yeah.
So this was the Glizzy Gobblers' very tone-deaf response to a complicated problem that mostly affects underfunded communities. Nancy appeared 110 times, gave 14 television addresses, traveled to 65 cities, 33 states, and 9 countries outside of the U.S. to spread her campaign. The big idea behind this campaign, when somebody offers you drugs, say no.
Wow. Yeah, real.
That's literally it.
Cutting edge stuff, Nancy.
Yeah.
Maybe Nancy should stick to being the throat goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the widespread, publicly funded campaign to end drug addiction in our country. Just say no. Just say no, Taylor.
Stop it. Yeah.
Stop it.
If just don't do it.
just whoop.
Yeah. I wish that like Republicans, especially like 1980s Republicans, like held the same level of like consent for drugs that as they like for like rape victims as they did for like drugs, because I feel like these are the same people that'd be like, she was asking for it.
Exactly.
Like, you know, like it's
exactly.
like no, like if you say no, then you mean no, right?
Yeah.
But only if it's drugs. If it's sex, then no, it's different.
Exactly. God. So this campaign obviously ignored the real reason why people get into drugs, especially people from areas where drug trafficking is widespread. Mm-hmm. The systemic oppression of Black and brown Americans can prevent them from obtaining quality education, higher paying careers, and even like nutritional food. Yeah. And so the depression that systemic racism can cause creates a need for escape that drugs and alcohol can easily provide. See the episode on Indigenous reservations that we did a while back.
Absolutely. And I feel like too, like, sorry if I'm interjecting
no,
too much.
Interject.
But, I feel like as well, like, you know, especially with drug dealing, like, you know, there's so many things, we've talked about it before, that you have to get a job. Like, you have to have an address. You have to have a cell phone, probably. You have to have all of your information. You have to have them hire you. If
usually.
A car, transportation, yeah. So it's like, in these situations, if you don't have that, people often, I feel like a lot of people turn to selling drugs because you don't got to have any of that.
Exactly.
Like, it's ignoring the whole systemic issue.
Oh, completely. Completely. And so because of the introduction of crack into underfunded neighborhoods, a market formed around it, creating a means of income for some people in these communities that's otherwise missing. And Nancy's Just Say No program has been deeply criticized for its extremely privileged take on the drug problem in America. I have a quote from the Detroit Free Press that I think sums it up pretty nicely. Quote, "As Mrs. Reagan becomes more vocal on the issue, she exposes the naivety of the privileged, tackling a social problem of the disadvantaged."
Yeah.
Ding.
Get it.
So the lasting impacts of the Just Say No campaign can be seen in the deficient DARE programs that we have today.
Yeah.
The continued vilification of drug addicts and the rise of prescription drug use. And I also got to say, as somebody who went through the DARE program, it kind of just made it seem like drugs really fuck.
Yeah, they're
which,
really
like,
cool.
Drugs do kind of fuck. So
I mean, they're fun. I remember when I was in like kindergarten. So this was before, like, 'cause I think DARE we did in 6th grade, but kindergarten we did like a drugs and alcohol thing. So this was probably circa I don't know, like 2000 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember I had mentioned to my teacher that my dad would like drink. Because, like, my dad would, like, have beers and stuff,
yeah,
you know, like,
normal
as a normal person.
Things.
And I remember my teacher being like, "That's so sad, Taylor."
Oh, my
and
God!
I was like, "No, it's fine. I don't think that he does it a lot." Like, because they were talking about drugs and alcohol. And I was like, I think it's probably, I was like, I remember, like, consciously thinking as a kindergartner being like, do they think my dad's a bad person now?
You're like, actually, it's not sad.
It's like
it's all right.
It's pretty chill. Like, he just has a few beers after work. Like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
It was pretty funny.
I have 2 stories about DARE or like drug education. So when my sister was in I think like the first grade or something like that, they were doing like a little like drugs and alcohol thing. Yeah. And they had this like list basically where you had like words at the top and then you would categorize like, is this a drug or is this not a drug? And on it was caffeine and tea.
Oh.
And my sister got marked down on the assignment, or no, it was coffee and tea, not caffeine.
Oh.
And my sister got marked down on the assignment because she said that tea was not a drug.
Yeah.
And because my dad drinks tea like every day, like my dad, and she drinks tea with my dad, like as a kid, it was like a little thing for them.
Yeah.
And my mom was so pissed, and she went because my sister was like, "Is tea a drug?" And so she like went to the teacher, and she was like, "How dare you?"
You made my daughter think that she's doing drugs. Like, that's so funny.
Oh my god. And my other story is that I think it was like in middle school, and we had this like person come and give like a drug talk or whatever, and they were talking about injecting heroin, and they were like, oh, how you inject heroin is like you have to like tap the vein on your arm to like get it to like come up or whatever. And he's like this, and like is doing it, and literally the entire auditorium of these like 12, 13-year-old kids is like
tapping their arms.
At that age, I looked around, I was like, this is not a good thing.
You're like, oh my gosh, you just are teaching everybody how to do heroin.
Yeah, like, why are you telling us how to do it?
And the thing about it, too, is like, I remember we had an assembly when I was in high school, and it was like this weird, it was an anti-drug assembly, and they like started playing music, and like everybody got on stage, and they were like playing like Yellow Submarine by the Beatles and stuff, and like they were like doing, like it was like this fun thing, like, I don't think I got on stage because I was a dork in high school, but like but like all the popular kids were on stage, and everybody was like singing, and then like after that the guy comes out and he's like, you know what that was? That was being high on life. And I was like, that's the dorkiest fucking thing. Like it's just so fucking dorky, dude. Like the anti-drug stuff is
it's so
cringy.
Dorky.
It's just It's like, oh my gosh, like, have fun.
Awful.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so, and again, like, I get it. Like, some drugs ruin lives. Yes. And I understand that.
Yes. But, like, there's a way to educate about it that's not just never do a drug ever.
Never do a drug.
Because then, like, kids are going to be freaked out when in high school your friends start fucking smoking weed or whatever. And it's like, no, it's especially in Utah. I mean, it's like, it's not the end of the world. Like, literally every high schooler smokes fucking weed.
Everybody does it.
It's fine.
Well, and just the way they teach about it, because, like, they teach that, like, weed is just as bad as, like, you know, heroin, like you were saying.
It's in the same schedule.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like,
it's
no,
the gateway drug.
It's not. It's very different. And like, we're finally starting to realize that, that like, these are very different outcomes for people who do these drugs. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It's
like
insane.
Cannabis actually can be really good for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it has a lot of medical benefits, and you maybe get less people hooked on fucking OxyContin for it. You know, like, Jesus.
Yeah.
But, like, that one's okay because, you know, corporations make money off that drug, so. Good stuff.
You know what else will get you high on life? You know what you should get high on?
Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Yes, sponsored by the Catholic Church.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, they love us here at Remarks.
Oh, absolutely.
Me and the Pope go way back,
besties.
Dude. We're besties, yeah.
Fucking besties.
That's like, I only use my nice china when the Pope comes over.
As if we're rich enough to afford china.
Oh, definitely not. You know, it's plates all day, every day.
Plates. That's all I spend. If I stop spending my money on expensive plates, I could have a house by now.
That's true. That's what I've always told you. I'm like, Phoebe, you are buying too many fancy plates.
Yeah.
It's like cigarettes, you know, like if I didn't spend all my money when I was like 19 on cigarettes, like I could have a Lamborghini now.
Right.
As everybody tells me.
Yeah.
And
well, that's why you see so many Lamborghinis around.
Yeah. Like people who don't smoke. Yeah. And they're like, wow, look at all this money I saved from not smoking.
Look at my fucking Lamborghini.
He's like, wow, my wallet's so fucking fat, dude. Love it. Anyway. That's beautiful.
Nice.
We're back. We're super sexy, per usual.
Sexier than ever.
Sexier than ever. Phoebe, did you get a new water bottle?
I did.
How long ago? Because I am just noticing it.
It's been a fat seg.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a terrible friend.
Don't. You're fine. You're not a terrible friend.
But your water bottle, it's nice. It's like a nice like lime green.
Yeah, I'm loving the color of it.
Truly.
Also, I have our beautiful Remarks sticker on there.
Shameless plug. If you want a sticker,
hit us up. Send us a DM.
Send us a DM or subscribe to the Patreon and you get 2 of them.
It's true.
It's $5 for the Patreon, but you get 2 stickers and all the bonus episodes.
And you also get to hear the really funny bonus episode intro song. So.
That's true. If you just listen to the regular podcast, you've never heard the bonus episode intro.
Yeah, you get like bonus Taylor little jingle.
Yeah, exactly.
Content.
We should. I guess I could put all of the songs that I've done like onto Spotify.
Oh my god, I kind of love that actually.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun, huh?
That would be fun.
Yeah, I could put it. I mean, yeah, I would just have to put them through my like DistroKid, so they'd be under my name. But at this point, I don't really care if anybody knows my name.
True.
So.
True. Dox us, bitch.
Do it. I dare you. Show up to my house right now. Let's fight.
Let's go. Oh, should we talk some more about Ronald Reagan?
I mean, if we gotta.
Yeah, we kind of do.
It's kind of our job.
So one of the most devastating parts of the Reagan era was the AIDS epidemic. It's about to get a little dark, y'all. So sorry. Not that it wasn't already, but
yeah, AIDS is rough.
It's rough. In 1981, U.S. health officials first discovered AIDS in the United States. They were tracking a rise in young gay men dying from infections or other illnesses that would typically not have affected them beyond maybe like a week in bed for recovery. By 1982, the CDC had documented the disease and given it a name, AIDS, or Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. News media in the White House largely ignored this epidemic, choosing not to speak out about what the White House had colloquially... I put that in there and I was like, this is like a nice
big word.
And then I fucking can't say it. Colloquially termed as the gay plague. News stations did not want to report on a gay disease, and in released audio from a press conference in 1982 with Ronald Reagan's press secretary and several media outlets, you can see how the Reagan administration regarded AIDS as a big joke. So I'm gonna read that audio to you. So Lester Kinsolving, he is a journalist interviewing the press secretary, who is Larry Speaks. So that's who those people are. So Lester Kinsolving, the journalist, says, quote, "Does the president have any reaction to the announcement by the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta that AIDS is now an epidemic in over 600 cases? Larry Speaks, the press secretary, says, AIDS? I haven't got anything on it. Lester, over a third of them have died. It's known as the gay plague," and then the press laughs. "No, it is. It's a pretty serious thing. 1 in every 3 people that gets this have died, and I wonder if the president was aware of this." Larry, "I don't have it." Press laughs. "Do you?" Lester, "You don't have it? Well, I'm relieved to hear that, Larry." Press laughs. Larry, "Do you?" Lester, "No, I don't." Larry, "You didn't answer my question. How do you know?" Press laughs. Lester, "Does the president, in other words, the White House, look on this as a great joke?" Larry, "No, I don't know anything about it, Lester."
Yeah.
So
it's I've heard that like recording or that audio. It's so frustrating. And I mean, and like the sad thing is too is like this one guy is like, "Hey, like people are fucking dying." And then like like every other journalist there is like, he said gay. Yeah. Like it's
oh my God.
Like people are actually fucking dying.
Yeah.
Like,
and it gets worse. So sorry about that.
More?
No, yeah. So even like as it got worse in 1984, the epidemic had killed almost 5,000 people, but the jokes continued. So here's from another press conference from 1984. So this is, again, Larry Speaks, who's the press secretary, Lester Kinsolving, who is the journalist. Mm-hmm. Larry says, Lester is beginning to circle now. He's moving up front. Go ahead. Lester. Since the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta report is going to... Press laughs. Larry, this is going to be an AIDS question. Lester, that an estimated... Larry, you were close. Lester, can I ask the question, Larry? That an estimated 300,000 people have been exposed to AIDS, which can be transmitted through saliva, which, no, this is not true, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Will the president, as commander-in-chief, take steps to protect armed forces, food, and medical services from AIDS patients or those who run the risk of spreading AIDS in the same manner that they bed typhoid fever people from being involved in health or food services? And then the whole time that he's talking, press is laughing. Mm-hmm. Larry, I don't know. Lester, is the president concerned about this subject, Larry? Larry, I haven't heard him express concern. Lester, that seems to have evoked a jocular reaction here. Press laughs. And then this is, I believe, an unidentified member of the press. It isn't only the jocks, Lester. And then another member of the press. Has he sworn off water faucets now? Lester, no, but I mean, is he going to do anything, Larry? Larry, Lester, I have not heard him express anything. Sorry. Lester, you mean he has expressed no opinion about this epidemic? Larry, no, but I must confess I haven't asked him about it.
Oh my God.
Lester, will you ask him, Larry? Larry, have you been checked? Press laughs. Unidentified person. Is the president going to ban mouth-to-mouth kissing? Lester, what? Pardon? I didn't hear your answer. Larry, laughing. It's hard work. I don't get paid enough. Is there anything else we need to do here?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Bro, it's just so fucking, like I know how gnarly, like, the fucking Reagan administration just ignored AIDS. But, like, just hearing, like, how casually they just, like, laugh it off is, like, so disheartening.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many people dying from it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's horrible.
It's awful.
And it's clear, based on these press conferences, that the disease was being ignored and funding was not being allocated towards it at all. The notion that HIV/AIDS could be transferred through saliva is completely false, and contributed to the stigmatization of AIDS. HIV and AIDS can only be transmitted through blood, semen, pre-cum, rectal fluids, vaginal fluids, and breast milk. And it's, like, obvious that they didn't even have, like, the research to know that wasn't true, you know? Like, they couldn't even begin the resesearch because they didn't fucking have any money.
And they didn't care. They didn't give a fuck about it. Like, they're like, oh, it's just killing gay people. We really need them? Yeah.
Many people who had HIV or AIDS wouldn't talk about it or seek treatment because of the association of AIDS with being gay, and so they were afraid to be outed because of this. And at this time, homosexuality was extremely taboo, and even further was then vilified by the way that AIDS was spoken about at this time, making it seem like it was some kind of plague that only gay men carried, and, like, they're promiscuous, so they're all, you know.
I mean, and think about that fucking article we read in the...
Exactly.
I guess I should say, in a bonus episode, we read through this magazine, as a Cosmopolitan magazine from 1989, and it was like... The whole article was like, is your bisexual husband gonna give you AIDS?
Yes,
like,
I was thinking about that, actually.
It's just the way they vilified it. It's insane.
Yeah. So Reagan continually curved questions about his plan for the AIDS epidemic and repeatedly denied or reallocated funds being sent to help with research on HIV/AIDS. Reagan didn't publicly address AIDS until 1985, 6 years into his presidency, and by that time, 36,058 Americans had been diagnosed with AIDS, and 20,849 had died from it. That's a fucking lot.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. When Reagan left office in 1989, over 100,000 people had been diagnosed with AIDS, and over half of this number had died from it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
50,000 people. Mm-hmm. And Reagan just didn't give a single fuck about it.
And literally joked about it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And not even did he just, like, ignore it. He literally, like, actively moved funds away from finding out anything about this horrible fucking disease.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. The lasting impacts of this willful ignorance towards AIDS are obvious. A large portion of the elder queer population simply doesn't exist, which, put back, like, the fight for LGBTQ rights way far.
Way far.
And also along with, like, the fight to just destigmatize AIDS. Knowledge about HIV and AIDS has become more common over the last few decades, and many moves have been made to destigmatize it, as well as to counter the idea that it only affects the queer community. Treatment for HIV and AIDS has received better funding nowadays. However, medications remain extremely expensive, and cures and vaccines are routinely removed from the public eye. Little note, my partner was at the doctor talking about the COVID vaccine, and the doctor said, he was like, oh yeah, like, because of all the research into mRNA vaccines because of COVID, like, yeah, they're like, might be able to get an HIV vaccine going.
Yeah.
My partner's like, excuse me? Wait, what?
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
This is kind of a huge thing.
And have you heard a single thing about it?
No.
Because you probably won't.
Well, and that's what's wild, because, like, with my research, like, Bill Clinton was, like, the first president, because I'm pretty sure it went Ronald Reagan, George H. Bush, right? And then Bill Clinton. And, like, Bill Clinton was the first president to be like, hey, maybe we should, like, figure out what's going on with AIDS. Like, obviously, fuck Bill Clinton, but at least he was, like...
Yeah.
Normal enough to be like, what the fuck is this? Like,
yeah, like,
it's insane.
Are dying, bro.
Yeah, like, it's crazy.
Ugh. And again, because of the ignorance towards AIDS, for years it took the healthcare world a long time to catch up, which led to the continued spread of the disease and continued preventable deaths of thousands of people.
Good.
Yay.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Ronald Reagan definitely sought out to accomplish a few things during his presidency. Vilify communism, kill black people, and kill gay people. And boy, was he successful.
Boy, did he fulfill all those promises.
Did it.
Wow. We love a man who can stick to his principles.
Yeah. On Reagan's continued campaign of ruining the lives of anyone who wasn't a straight, rich, white man, he signed the Immigration Reform and Control Act. This made it illegal for employers to hire illegal immigrants knowingly and would enforce a financial penalty on the companies to found... Sorry, I just lost my place. Would enforce a financial penalty on companies found to employ illegal immigrants. At the same time, he granted visas to around 3 million immigrants who were already in the United States. And while this may seem like a nice thing, he was basically just using this to back up his plans to block immigration to the U.S., stating, quote, "The legalization provisions in this act will go far to improve the lives of a class of individuals who now must hide in the shadows without access to many of the benefits of a free and open society. Very soon, many of these men and women will be able to step into the sunlight, and ultimately, if they choose, they may become Americans. The Employer Sanctions Program is the keystone and major element. It will remove the incentive for illegal immigration by eliminating job opportunities which draw illegal aliens here." There it is.
There it is.
It's like, oh, this is nice. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that's cool. You're giving people visas. Oh, it's because you don't want people to come here.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah. So towards the end of the Reagan presidency, we saw the Iran-Contra affair, which I'm not going to really get into because Taylor did a whole episode on it. Go check it out. It was great. And then, this is where we saw the end of the Soviet Union, where, sort of one of the good-ish things that Reagan did was, like, the removal of the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
Which, like, I guess.
Like, debatable on, like... I mean, I guess it was probably nice for the people there, but yeah.
Yeah. And then, just a few things towards the end of Reagan's life here. On April 13th, 1992, Reagan was being given an award from the National Association of Broadcasters, and the absolute GOAT, Richard Springer, took the trophy that he received, which was this, like, huge crystal eagle statue, and smashed it. And then, like, the glass, like, flew and hit Reagan, but he was literally fine. But, of course, this guy was arrested.
Oh, my gosh.
And got, like, a federal misdemeanor charge.
So he broke his trophy that, like, he had gotten?
So Reagan was getting...
an award.
Reagan was getting an award, and then this guy, Richard Springer, comes up and smashes the award.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, which is
Hell yeah.
really fucking based.
Yeah, that's based as fuck.
So on June 5th, 2004, one of the greatest days in American history, Ronald Reagan dies of pneumonia in his home in California.
Crazy. That's weird to think that, like, I was alive for 8 years while Ronald Reagan was.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. It's just weird to think about because
I know.
He's been dead for as long as I can remember, but, like,
yeah.
I also didn't really know about Reagan when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, didn't know who that was.
But yeah, he was, like, still kicking when we were existing.
Yeah. It's just weird. Big unfortunate.
Yeah. Goodbye. He's dead. Also, interesting fact, he lived to be 93.
Crazy.
Yeah, and he started the presidency at 70 or like 69. So.
Yeah. Damn,
insane.
That's crazy.
This old ass motherfucker.
So he died in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
So he died after Shrek 1 came out.
I literally knew that was coming. Yeah, he did. So it's actually possible that Ronald Reagan watched Shrek 1.
Yeah, and, like, maybe enjoyed it, which I feel like that's truly a crime because I don't feel like he deserves the cinematic masterpiece that is Shrek.
Absolutely not.
Shrek 1.
No.
And that's truly the all that bad stuff we talked about, that's bad, but, like, that's the true travesty of this episode.
Yeah.
Is that Ronald Reagan may have watched Shrek.
Yeah. Yeah. And he doesn't deserve the majesty that is Shrek.
He does not. He does not get to laugh and have a good time. No. Fucking piece of shit.
Also, he would completely miss the entire point.
Oh, yeah. He would think it was dumb, for sure. He'd watch it and be like, that was a stupid movie. And we'd be like, did you fucking watch the movie? It's the best movie I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. Oh, that's crazy.
Wild.
Wild. You know what? We'll watch Shrek and appreciate every moment of it. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. No, these advertisements that will not be there, but
won't roll. But pretend. Make up your own advertisement.
Yeah, like, plug your own thing. Be like, wow, Toyota Camrys, the best car for driving around town.
Toyota, if you're listening.
Toyota.
Finger guns to the mic.
I drive one of your cars.
Yeah, sponsor us. I enjoy your car.
Yeah.
So.
You've driven in my car. You've ridden in my car before, so
it's great.
It's a fun car. Toyota, fucking hit us up.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's beautiful. We are back.
How did your little personal ad go, everyone?
Yeah. Let us know in the comments.
Comment below.
How was your plug?
Yeah.
And what did you plug?
Yeah.
Is a better question,
Plugs?
Did you plug plugs? Yeah. Like butt plugs, ear plugs, dick plugs. I don't know. I'm sure those exist.
Sure.
Probably. I think there's, like, I don't know. I feel like I've vaguely remember seeing something about, like, a urethra thing that you, like, put in your penis hole if you're, like, into it. But to me, that sounds very painful.
It does sound painful.
But
no kink shaming, obviously.
No kink shaming.
I just personally feel like it
sounds painful to me, but some people like the pain, so.
True. That's also true.
Who am I to judge?
God. You are God himself.
That is what I've been told in the past, yeah.
Taylor is actually God.
I am Jesus. I am God. I am the Holy Spirit.
The Trinity, if you will.
Mormons, close your ears. You don't know about this.
They don't believe in that.
Yeah. Anyway. So, the moment that we've all been waiting for term 2 of Bill Clinton's presidency. When we left off, he had just been attempted to be murdered in wherever the fuck I think it was the Philippines.
Right. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then got mad because he was late to his meeting. Oh, what a guy. But so the moment we've all been waiting for, December 19th, 1998, Bill Clinton became the second president to be impeached. He was impeached on the grounds of lying under oath about his relationship with 22-year-old Monica Lewinsky.
Here
and
it
then
is.
Donald Trump was, of course, the third president. And fun fact, Richard Nixon probably would have been impeached, but he quit before.
Oh, that's right.
They were able to do it.
Yeah.
I always love a good fun fact.
He's like, I'm
outie. I am not a crook.
For no particular reason, I'm resigning. Bye.
Yeah. Exactly. I actually put on here, similar to how Donald Trump was impeached but not voted to leave office, Bill Clinton did get formally impeached but did not get voted to leave the office, so he did finish his term as president.
Just kind of crazy to me. I'm like, what's even the point then of impeachment?
It just never, like the way it lines up, like you're never going to get, unless you have like a full, one party of like House and Senate that are going to like vote to remove them, it's probably never going to happen, But whatever. In January of 2001, Bill Clinton would admit that he lied under oath, and this would cause his law license to be suspended for 5 years. Very brutal punishment. Poor little baby boy Bill Clinton couldn't practice law after being the president for 5 years.
What a bummer.
What a big shame. We'll get more into the Monica Lewinsky stuff in just a minute, but some other notable events of Bill Clinton's second term were, in February of 1997, it came out that the Clintons had big celebrity names staying at the White House in the Lincoln bedroom in exchange for campaign donations. Yes, they were like, you can stay in the Lincoln bedroom. Some of the names included on this list are Jane Fonda, Judy Collins, Stevie Spiels, as we talked about last week.
Stevie Spiels.
Good old Stevie Spiels, and Tom Hanks.
Wow.
They could also buy golf games and morning jogs with the Clintons with these donations.
That's insane.
So it was like OnlyFans before OnlyFans existed.
Yeah.
They were like
an afternoon with the Clintons.
Exactly. It's like $100,000 and you can go jogging with Hillary Clinton. Like,
I hate it.
It's so insane. Yeah.
When Hillary Clinton was like so annoying about her jogging, like she had like a full fucking tracksuit, sweat headband thing.
She had the thing that like you attach to your arm that holds your iPod Shuffle,
yes!
like
yes, oh my God.
Or your iPod Nano, because this was like fucking 2001. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. I guess this would have been in the 90s, but yeah.
I hate it.
She would have that though. She would have that.
Yes, absolutely.
This brings us to some of Bill's foreign policy. The movie/book Black Hawk Down was loosely based on the Battle of Mogadishu, I believe is how you say it, where 2 U.S. helicopters were shot down, trapping soldiers behind enemy lines. This all took place during Bill Clinton's presidency and seemed to take a toll on his willingness to get involved into conflicts. I say this because later on, in April of 1994, the Rwandan genocide broke out. You ever heard anything about the Rwandan genocide?
A little bit.
Yeah. The short version of it is the conflict was one tribe in Rwanda began massacring another tribe by the thousands. It was an ethnic cleansing of the Tutsi people, I believe is how you say it.
Okay, yes, I actually do know more about this than I thought.
If you look up anything about it, it's absolutely horrific.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was insane. The Clinton administration had intel of the event far before the mass killing started, but fearing what happened in Somalia, chose to not intervene. And I believe it was actually France that was the first one to actually intervene in the conflict. So, but yeah, it was there for a while. There was like nobody doing a single thing about it, and it was rough. Bill later said this about the ethnic cleansing. I don't think that we could have ended the violence, but I think we could have cut it down, and I regret it. So, cool. That's nice. Thanks Bill.
For that.
I'm glad that you, yeah.
There's like so much of that with presidents they're like, I really should have done something. You're right. Sorry, guys.
You're right. Sorry. And it's like, you piece of shit.
You're literally the president.
You're literally, you were the person to do something.
Oh
like, you
God.
were the one that could do something about it.
And it's like they didn't want to at the time, or there was some fucking other reason why not. And then later they're like, should have done that.
I should have. It's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, dude.
God, I hate it.
So frustrating. Clinton was the first president to visit Northern Ireland and would play a key role in the Good Friday Agreement between Britain and Ireland, which was basically just an agreement about how Ireland should be governed. Mm-hmm. So he did kind of facilitate that, which is good. But, I mean, Britain should still get the fuck out of Northern Ireland. Yeah. He was also attempting to focus on the killing of Osama bin Laden. But, like, who wasn't, around this time? Like, everybody was kind of trying to get that Osama medal on their fucking Boy Scout sash. Yeah.
Obama snatched that one away.
Yeah. Damn. Obama got it. Good old Clinty also ordered the NATO bombings of Bosnia, Herzegovina.
Yes.
And also authorized the bombing of Yugoslavia. We talked a little bit about this in the Ukraine and Russia episode, but NATO, fucked around in those countries there.
Yeah.
It's in a lot of these regions too, like, these conflicts are very complicated, so I'm not going too deep into them here. But the region of Kosovo was part of Yugoslavia, was in a civil war type fight, and the Clinton administration called it a genocide of the ethnic Albanian separatists, but many disagree and say the Clintons blew the conflict out of proportion so that they could get NATO to start bombing. Kosovo, after the bombings, was put under UN control because, of course, it was. Yeah. We bombed the fuck out of the separatists, and then they joined with all of our alliances. As it do. He also signed the Iraq Liberation Act of 1998 in October, which sought to overthrow Saddam Hussein, but didn't deploy troops out to Iraq at that time. Again, he was a little shy on the trigger, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but, I know that Saddam Hussein was pretty awful.
Yeah.
He did, however, do a 4-day bombing campaign called Operation Desert Fox.
I hate the phrase bombing campaign. That's just, yikes.
Yeah. It was it's something. Also, I just feel like people in the military think their names for things are so cool.
Yeah.
They're like, Operation Desert Fox, brother. Like, they just think they're so fucking sick, and it's like, it's not that cool, man.
Yeah. There was an operation under the Reagan administration that I didn't get to because there's so much stuff, that they was literally called Operation Just Cuz. Literally.
Like the name of the video game.
I hate it.
Oh, yeah, it's awful. And, of course, we all know that, like, bombing is super accurate and safe. So, like, nobody died in the, like, the shrapnel and all that jazz. Yeah. So,
well, we all know that bombs only kill bad guys. Like, they they know specifically how to target just bad guys. And when they explode, it just kills only the bad guys.
Exactly. That's why we here at Remark support Raytheon because they have the knife missiles. If you listen to Behind the Bastards, Robert talks about it too.
All the time.
If you need a missile made of knives to bomb a wedding in Yemen, who are you going to go to? You're going to go to Raytheon.
Hit up Raytheon.
Absolutely. Also, in October of 2000, Bill signed the U.S.-China Relations Act, which granted China trade with the U.S. and much of the world, believing it would open China up to more democratic reform. Which, I don't know how much I disagree with that. It was definitely the start of China being, like, more of an industrial power. But, yeah. So that happened under his watch. But this brings us now to what you've all been waiting for, which is Bill Clinton's sex life. I know you're really, really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, heavily involved.
Because I mean, I feel like more presidents probably have boned in the Oval Office, but like we know for a fact Bill Clinton boned in the Oval Office.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So that's like it's like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, like it definitely happened. But in 1994, Paula Jones initiated a sexual assault lawsuit against Bill Clinton. She lost the first court case, but in light of the Monica Lewinsky case, was able to appeal and received $850,000 in an out-of-court settlement, which, good for her, getting that bag.
Yeah.
But, absolutely awful. And that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
In 1998, Kathleen Wiley alleged that Clinton had groped her in a hallway in 1993. The case was thrown out due to lack of evidence, and in March of 1998, Julie Hatt Steele accused Wiley of asking her to lie for her in court. So this one didn't actually go anywhere because there was a bunch of differing allegations and it was thrown out. But then also in 1998, Juanita Broderick alleged that Clinton had raped her in the spring of 1978. I don't believe this one had a court case that was associated with it, or at least I didn't find one anywhere, but it was another allegation that was put towards Bill Clinton.
Super fun how just like straight up rapists can be and are just always the president.
Are always the president and just leaders of the world. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, obviously. And then, of course, we have Mrs. Monica Lewinsky. People now see her affair with the president as a result of an imbalance of power, and Bill Clinton being kind of a creep and abusing that power, which, fortunately, again, we've kind of come around to in recent years. But the media kind of fucked her over at the time.
Oh, my God.
Again, we're going to be doing a bonus episode where I read through a tabloid magazine of what they were saying about Monica Lewinsky at the time, and we're going to be losing our minds about it. So
100%.
Absolutely. So some of the things the media did say about her, this article in the Daily Beast that I found in the Daily Beast covered some of the media and what they were saying. She was called a thong snapper, a ditzy White House predator, a stalker and a seductress, and a caged dog with her 24-year-old libido were just a few that were named there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so really good stuff.
I also like how she's being called the predator.
Oh, yeah, and that's, I mean, again, and we can talk about it all day. It's just like, of course, nobody, like, people kind of judged Bill Clinton for it, but like people were definitely like, oh, Monica Lewinsky was flaunting all around. It's like, no, like Bill Clinton was the fucking president. Like, hold him accountable. And again, and really, like, there's not anything wrong with sleeping with somebody. Like, again, Monica Lewinsky didn't do a single thing wrong. Like, it's all on Bill Clinton. He cheated on his wife. Like, fucking insane. But some of the shirts and bumper stickers contain slogans like "One more whore and we get gore," was a quote from one of them. Because Al Gore, being the vice president, would then become the president if he was, kicked out of office. And another one was my president slept with your honor student. So pretty.
I love that people made fucking like merch.
Yeah, people made merch off of this shit.
Oh my fucking God.
It's, and I know that Monica Lewinsky has been very vocal about how shitty she was treated at that time, so I'm very glad that she shared her story now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, people were fucking ruthless.
Oh my God.
It's absolutely terrible.
I
hate everything. And this is also where we get the amazing Bill Clinton quote that we've mentioned before, where somebody asked, or when being asked if his statement, "There's nothing going on between us," was true, he said, "That depends on what the meaning of is." So really good stuff. Yeah, so he, again, obviously got caught lying. That's why his, what led to his impeachment.
Yeah, which is so, like, of all the things to impeach the man over, like, the rape allegation wasn't what we're impeaching over. It's him lying about having sex with this woman.
It's crazy because, like, war crimes are such a normal part of, like, presidencies that, like, they just, like, everybody's like, oh, yeah, you be the president, you're gonna commit a few war crimes,
you're
right?
You're gonna bomb Libya.
Crack a couple of eggs to make an omelet, right? But, like, yeah, you lie in court and they're like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. It's like, yeah, and, like, no defense of Bill Clinton, but it's like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the same with fucking Donald Trump too. Like
exactly.
Like they got him on the fucking Ukraine thing, trying to get like dirt on Joe Biden. But like he committed so many crimes.
Oh my god.
So many crimes,
like,
dude.
It's like that's all he did.
He was the crimes. He's the most crimey president since fucking Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, so Mr. Clinton has since admitted to having affairs with Jennifer Flowers, Elizabeth Grayson, Sally Perdue, Dolly Kylie Browning, and of course Monica Lewinsky. So those are all the ones he's admitted to. Mm-hmm. There's probably more. I think it's insane that him and Hillary are still married.
Oh my god, it's insane.
I cannot believe.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously just married for like
business.
Public image purposes. Yeah. Like, they have not touched each other in years.
No.
I can imagine.
No, they don't even live in the same house.
They shouldn't. Honestly.
No, fuck. Get
Jesus
far away
Christ.
from each other.
Please, for the love of God. So we had posted a picture on this in Instagram, but he did also write a book, The President is Missing, which released in 2018.
Which we will do a live read through of.
Absolutely. I believe, well, for some reason I didn't write this down, but I'm going to find my note on it. But I was looking into how much Bill Clinton's net worth was.
Oh, shit.
So he continues to this day to have a net worth of $75 million, which I guess was as of 2016. He gets paid a fuck ton of money to go to speaking events. You know, again, all of this shit that happened, all the war crimes, all the sexual assault allegations, didn't affect him at all. Nah. Still fucking rich.
Yep.
And fucking has a lot of power. And then in most recent news about Bill, according to the flight logs of the Lolita Express, Bill Clinton has been a passenger on the pedophile plane 26 times.
Fucking God.
Mm-hmm. God bless America.
Love it.
And that's like, it's so crazy because we talked about this, of course, in our Jeffrey Epstein episode, but like people just knew. Like everybody fucking knew. Like his goddamn plane is called the Lolita Express. Yeah. Like everybody is just this fucking open secret that like, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein is fucking a pedophile and is raping children
and has a whole island dedicated to it.
And again, there's fucking Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, all these motherfuckers that are just like, hell yeah, let's go on to fucking Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile rape island.
And
like,
people knew. I mean, everybody knew.
Everybody fucking knew. It's so
and nothing
insane.
will ever happen.
Yeah, no, nothing will ever, like, and even like with what happened to Jeffrey Epstein, like that didn't change anything. He went for years doing that shit.
Yup.
And then just finally got the consequences of it. Like,
yeah. Well, and he, as we talked about in the Jeffrey Epstein episode, he was arrested like at one point and then got a non-prosecution agreement. Yeah. And was fine and kept doing it until he was finally arrested again and then murdered, or allegedly.
Allegedly committed suicide.
Yes.
But yeah, and again, like we know fucking Bill Clinton was on that. We know Donald Trump, Bill Gates, Prince, whatever the fuck.
Prince Andrew, like Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, we know all these people were fucking there, and it's like we can obviously assume that they were partaking. And again, nothing's gonna fucking happen about it.
Nope.
And especially with someone like Bill Clinton, who just literally has a history of being a fucking piece of shit to women, like. It's absolutely awful.
Yeah, I literally like lose my mind. Like every once in a while I'll just think about Jeffrey Epstein and I just start fucking losing my goddamn mind.
Frothing at the mouth.
It's straight up.
Oh my fucking God, dude. Yeah, it's insane because, and again, like we've said it a million times on our podcast, but like these people who are like big QAnoners are like, oh, the Democrats and all the secret cabal, and it's like it's literally right there.
Yeah,
we caught who was doing it. This is a real thing.
It's happening.
It's happening, but y'all are fucking reading 8chan posts all day trying to decode the messages. Oh my God.
Like, it's like there is no message. The message is that people do this and they do it openly, and
you don't have to look very far, like
at all.
Oh my God, yeah, it's the worst. But yeah, that's pretty much all. This one was a little bit shorter than my last one, but
damn,
that's most of what Bill Clinton's been up to since then.
God. And I feel like, you know, people, when they think about Bill Clinton, it's like, oh, they either think about, like, he was, like, the cheating president, or they think about, like, he's a quirky guy who plays fucking trumpet or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or sax. What does he play?
I think he plays the sax.
I think that's right.
Let me check.
Yeah, give it a quick Google. Live Google. Yeah, and it's just like, can we remember him for what a piece of fucking shit he is? Which I guess is how I feel about every single president, but...
I mean, yeah, there's always, like, that weird saxophone.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's always, again, like, I feel like, growing up and when I was more, like, liberal, I, like, thought Bill Clinton was cool because I was like, oh, he, like, agrees with all the things that I think, you know? Like, oh, he was, like, the only president that had, like, a good budget and all this stuff, but... You know, you don't hear about, like, all the sexual assault allegations. You don't hear about the war crimes. You don't hear about, I mean, again, more people now are talking about how poorly Monica Lewinsky was treated.
Right.
But, like, you know, again, he didn't stop any of those allegations. Yeah. Like, he just let her be fucking blown, like, torn apart by fucking the media. When, again, it was just as much him as it was her. Like...
Fully,
and
if
again,
not more.
And more because, yeah, he's the fucking president. He for sure used his influence on her. It's insane. God. But yeah, that's pretty much that's what we get for Bill Clinton.
Yeah, wow.
It's good stuff.
Which, like, kind of related, but not really. But I was, like, watching a movie the other day, and then at the end of the movie, it's like, in the credits, it's like says something like Harvey Weinstein. It was like an older movie, and I was like, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, he's the guy, but, like, movies. Fuck, it just, like...
They're everywhere. Yeah. And, again, no one fucking talks about it.
Nah.
It's like we are now talking about it more, but it's,
Yeah.
It's still gonna keep happening until you fucking start killing rapists on the spot.
Yes.
If you know a rapist, beat them up.
Yeah.
Beat them up. And they deserve it. So
Jesus Christ. Well,
that's all we got for you.
Guaranteed to make you feel good.
Say a cum joke or something to, like, brighten the mood.
You know what's liquidy? Cum. I don't know. I got scared.
Very true. Yeah, cum is liquidy, and you, audience, are sexy, and we love you.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks for listening.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, and we have to plug some stuff. I almost forgot.
It is the P-Zone time.
P-Zone. Highway to the P-Zone.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. I'll take it away from here.
All right.
To begin this time. You can tweet at us on Twitter at RemarksPod, and you can leave us a like and a comment, I guess a review, I should say, on Apple Podcasts.
Please do that.
Please do. And, of course, I have a YouTube channel called The Lefty Agenda, so you can check that out. And then Phoebe.
You can go to our Instagram and look at pictures of these assholes at Remarks Podcast, and you can go to our TikTok of the same handle at Remarks Podcast. And you can subscribe to our motherfucking Patreon.
Which we are going to shout out our patrons right now.
Right this
we have Justin Vass.
We have Emily Doran.
We have Andrew Vass.
And we have Tere Soltero. Thanks, y'all.
Woo-hoo. Thank you so much. We love you.
We love you.
So much.
Intense amount.
Yeah, like a crazy amount.
Yeah,
like,
it's a little...
It's unhinged.
It's kind of over the top.
Yeah, like our loins are shaking with how much we love you. So
quivering.
You know. Yeah, quivering indeed.
Oh, thanks for listening, and K love you. Bye. Yeah.